This is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, senior leaders, and C-suite executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
I'm Pascal Finnette. I'm the co-founder of Be Radical, which is a boutique advisory firm for entrepreneur-led organizations. I'm also the chair for entrepreneurship and open innovation at Singularity University, which is a think tank out of Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
And I've done a whole bunch of stuff working for some of the interesting tech companies in their formative years, eBay, Mozilla, Google, and founded my own companies as well.
Wow. So you've got quite a bit of experience to pull on then, I'm assuming.
Also, probably a little bit of ADHD going on here. Yes.
Well, good. Well, we'll take it all and we'll get what we can here. Question 2 for you. What's the best thing about leading people from your perspective?
I think the best thing about leading people is that it's probably one of the biggest privileges you can have as a human being, because there's nothing more beautiful than enabling and empowering people. I think that's what leading, at least for me, is about, is really showing them the North Star and then giving them the tools and getting out of their way.
Love that. Enabling and empowering people. You know, you think about people that have done that for you in your life, and it does make you feel invincible. Never mind the confidence boost when it comes from somebody else.
Absolutely.
Love those ideas. All right, question 3, one of my favorite questions. I often hear from other leaders that business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people part. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that?
I go
Especially
with
coming from technology, right?
Absolutely. And I go all the way back to Herb Kelleher, the founder of Southwest Airlines, who said the business of business is people yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I keep telling us, the leaders in particularly tech businesses, yes, of course, we're using technology to do many formerly human tasks, leveraging AI and robotics, but really it comes down to people and the people who are creating even the technologies and managing them and operating them. So I think the most important part for a leader, for an organization, is to think about the people. And the good news about people is, in my world, is it is really all common sense. It's actually not that hard to be with other people, just be a human being. And the challenge with common sense is sometimes not common practice. So I think that's something we need to remember.
Absolutely. And not assume that everybody's common sense or common practice, as a great phrase, I love that, is the same, right? We all kind of think about it a little bit differently. Love that. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the podcast? You know, I'm thinking about who else should we be listening to?
Absolutely. A good friend of mine, and I give him a huge plug here, is a gentleman called Andy Billings, who's the head for creative over at Electronic Arts. Creative Profitability is his full title. He's an incredible leader, has been in the Valley and in this crazy world of games and online content for more than 30 years. Amazing leader. I love this guy. He's got a really interesting perspective on leadership, personal development, and what it takes to lead in these crazy times.
Oh, EA Sports, it's in the game.
Indeed. Yes.
You can tell I have a couple of boys that run around here. That's awesome. Question 5 for you. What piece of advice about communication would you give to other leaders?
I believe there's no such thing as over communicating, as well as there's no such thing as you have to tell people it in different ways because they don't understand it otherwise. I think the most important thing I've learned from my mentors and being led by amazing leaders throughout my career was always they were extremely concise, precise, and repetitive in their communication. So we all understood exactly what we are talking about. And they kept repeating it in the same words. So there was no ambiguity about what is it they actually mean. And they kept repeating it over and over and over again. I think it's really about consistency and repeating it and being also very clear. So using just common language, don't overcomplicate it, make it easy for people to understand. And I think you're on a winning path.
No jargon, and, repeat it as much as you possibly can. You remind me of television commercials, right? Because you see them every 30 seconds, or they come in 30-second waves, but they only play it once, right?
That's right. Exactly.
It's like they play it over and over and over again to do exactly what you're saying. So I think, we can learn a lot just from paying attention to some of those people and strategies. All right, magic question number 6 for you. Tell us about your favorite boss or teacher. Who's influenced you?
So my very first boss, when I was in college, I worked at a computer company and essentially sold computers. And the gentleman who ran that company, which was the largest Apple retailer in Europe, Archibald Hollitz, somehow took a liking on me. And despite better judgment, probably decided to take me under his wings and sent me as a 19-year-old to Taiwan to go to Computex and go buy parts for the business and, like negotiate deals with suppliers. Quite frankly, to this point in time, like today, I have no idea why he did this and like how crazy he was, but it didn't shape me for the rest of my life. And actually, a little while ago, I wrote him a long handwritten letter just to let him know how much these acts of kindness and leadership really shaped my whole life.
That's amazing. And you think about, the people who have done things like that for us in our lives. Does it compel you to want to pay it forward in some way? Do you find yourself,
Well,
kind of living that
absolutely.
out for other people on your team?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it was truly leading by example, and the impact it had on my personal life is just unbelievable.
Well, and as you say, I mean, you're thinking about it now, X number of decades later,
Right.
right? I mean, and to be able to have that sort of impression on somebody, that to me is what leadership is all about, and talk about leaving a legacy.
I absolutely agree. 100%. Yeah.
Well, I've just enjoyed getting to know you and hearing more about your ideas. Thank you so much for being on the show. Is there a good way that people could find you if they wanted to reach out and say hi or learn more?
Totally. Yeah. So you'll find me actually very easily on Google. If you just punch in Pascal Finnette, there's literally just one Pascal Finnette in the world and you'll find me. The other way, I know it's pretty amazing, right? I own Google. I own Google at this point. The other way is if you're interested in the work we're doing, just go to beradicalgroup.com. Beradicalgroup.com is our home. It tells you a lot about the work we're doing and how you get in touch with us.
That's amazing. Well, again, thank you so much. I really enjoyed hearing your ideas. And this is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more ideas and insights, please do go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.